Hi, it's Thomas Gronnemark, the throwing coach. In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can use the big pitch throw-in tool to keep possession, create a chance, or score a goal after a throw-in. In the end of the video, I'm also going to tell you how you can train your players to use the big pitch throw-in tool in a match. My name is Thomas Gronnemark and I'm a professional football throwing coach. I've been part of 15 titles in international football and been coaching clubs like Liverpool FC, Ajax, Dortmund and many more all around the world. I also have an online course called Gronnemark's Throw-In Mastery, and here you can learn to use my long, fast and clever throw-in philosophy together with your players. You can find the course on throwinacademy.com or click at the link down in the description. But today's video is about the big pitch throw-in tool. And why do we need a big pitch throw-in tool? It's because there's a tendency in football, no matter what level, is that the players are coming way too close to the thrower. And let's just say we have a throw-in in the middle of the pitch, we're attacking this way. It's really important for me to say this could look in many different ways in a match, because the opponent's defending pattern could be very different. Here I put a marker of the thrower, but this player might as well go in a sandwich here. This player could mark the mini switch. This player could be doing many different things. But there is a tendency that the players are coming too close. If the players are coming too close to the thrower, then we have a small pitch and then we have less space to create space. So it means that this is an advantage for the defending team. But you can actually make this big pitch throw-in tool work in really good ways. You can do that in 3 ways. So first of all, it's really important that your players are throwing as far as possible. And what has this to do with a big pitch tool to do? It's because the longer you can throw, the further away the players can go. And this means that you can actually make a bigger pitch. So again, for example, when I coached Liverpool FC for 5 seasons, when I came to Liverpool, Andy Robertson, the left back, could only throw 90 meters and 80, and that was really short. So it meant that every time Liverpool had a throw-in the left side of the pitch, they would be under high pressure, just because he couldn't throw very far. Andy Robertson, he improved to 27 meters, and even though that's not world class, then it meant that he added on 530 extra square meters in his throwing area. So no matter if you're a long throwing team or not, it's really important that your players, especially your fullbacks or wingbacks, are throwing as far as possible. So let's show this on the board here. So do you only have a player who can throw, let's say, around 20 meters like Andy Robertson did when I came? Then you can't make a bigger pitch than this, because the player who's furthest away, he can only go 20 meters away because the player can't throw longer. So let's just imagine that your player can throw 25 meters. Then we have it here, the last upper man here. Can he or she throw 30 meters? Then it's here. Is it 35 meters? Then it's here. And you can probably see the big difference here, because you have a player who can throw longer. And this is, of course, not only in this direction, it's in all directions, all around the pitch. So again, the big pitch tool is primarily if you can't throw fast. Of course, when you have a throw-in, get the ball fast. If you have a free player or a low-risk, high-reward throw-in behind the defense, okay, just take it. It's up to you, of course, and you can train that. I've shown that in my other videos too. But if you can't throw it fast, then you want to have good distances. So move your players a bit away, make the pitch big instead of making it narrow, and then suddenly we have more space to move. And already now we have much better options to create the spaces here. So the second way you can do it is to go out in positions far away. And as I mentioned before, it can look really differently. Maybe it's a 1 against 2 sandwich here. It's a 3 against 2 sandwich. 3 against 2 sandwich here. You can be marking the mini switch and so on and so on and so on. But it's just so important that you have big distances between your attacking players. Then we have more space to move in. And then the third way you can do it is to actually do long runs. So one of the biggest mistakes that players are doing is that they're not moving. That's one thing. The second mistake regarding movement is that they're only moving by themselves, individual space creation. But the challenge is if they're also just moving like a few meters, 2, 3, 4, 5 meters, then you don't create efficient space. So let's just say it's a 2 against 2 here, up the line. So this player in the front, if he or she only moves 5 meters, then you don't have really good space, and this player can also move a little bit back. But if you run 10, 15 meters, then suddenly this defending player has to take a decision, because you can't just stay there. So again, the third way to make the pitch bigger is to make really long, big runs. And of course you can do that in many, many different ways with many different tools, as I explained in many of my videos here on YouTube. So how can you train it? The biggest mistakes that many coaches or set-piece coaches are doing is they're starting with the complex. But often the complex is locked down because of your opponent's defending pattern. So instead, you want them to learn to think themselves regarding throw-ins. You can also say, give them a high throw-in intelligence. So regarding the big pitch, of course, you have to do the throw-in basics first. Basic space creation, precision, throwing longer, scanning, things like that. Then you can teach them how to move in the correct way in different small-sided games. I have basic small-sided games, fast small-sided games, tool-specific small-sided games, and then zone-specific small-sided games. And this will teach also the players to do more match actions regarding the throw-ins. And then we come to the bigger zonal games. And here you can say, here you can really work with the big pitches, because you can work in different zones with different opponents' defending pattern, but you can also learn the players to make the pitch big in many, many different situations. But this was my video about how to use the big pitch throw-in tool. Do you want to learn more about my throwing coaching? I have an online course called Gronnemark's Throwing Academy, and you can find that on the link down below. You're also welcome to visit, invite me for a visit to your club or your federation. Again, I've been part of 15 titles in international football. Also